Wow. As my son sits here next to me, sleeping, I'm just glad he wasn't awake for this. I'm just glad he was not awake for this. I'm just glad he's too young to understand what's going on, because um, I'm just glad he's too young to understand what the word fuck means, and the word shit, and what the hell, all sorts of things. Because LSU straight up lost this game in the worst ways today. The worst ways possible, LSU gave this game up. I know it sounds crazy because we just lost 40-13. LSU actually gave this one away. The worst. Let me take a second before I get into it. Everybody, this is a big invitation out to anybody who ever wants to join us live right here on the screen. If you want to just do it audio wise, we can do that audio wise. You can just not optimize the camera, but we can still have the audio. But open invitation to anyone who wants to join us live right here, right now. We're going to be sending this all out to the world, to everyone right now. So yeah, get your comments coming in, get your thoughts going in and situated, and get your beer, get your weed, get your whiskey, get your wine, because you're gonna need a lot of it. You're gonna need a lot of it right now, because this was harsh. This was harsh. Anybody who understands the situational domino effect in football understands how and why LSU lost this game. Okay. It didn't start off the right way. It did not start off the right way for LSU. Win the toss, elect to take the ball instead of defer, which I don't understand why we keep doing that. I don't understand why we keep taking opening kickoffs instead of kicking it, especially against a team like Tennessee, where they basically stole a possession. I mean, wow, okay. We're going to literally put the game on again as we do this. LSU absolutely throttled 40-13. We got some comments already coming in. Bo Hunting says, "Go Vols." Well, you have every right to be celebrating right now, man, because you just kicked LSU's absolute ass. LSU were beyond spanked. Bo Hunting 101 says, "Hope you all win out the rest of the season. Y'all have the talent. Y'all just have to put it all together." Yep. But you also cannot coach the way we did today as a staff. You cannot coach the way we did today as a staff. I know there are a lot of Brian Kelly loyalists. You could probably call me one of them. I tend to think Brian Kelly is going to be a huge success at LSU for a long time coming. As long as he wants to stay there, as long as LSU wants him as their head coach. 10-year contract. He just invested $1 million of his own money into the program. I know people are saying, "Oh, only $1 million out of his $100 million." That says a lot to me, because how many coaches do you actually see doing that this quick in their tenure? While there's still people, going at Brian Kelly for this or that, and Kelly's showing that he cares about LSU. But today, this is probably the first game where Brian Kelly was outcoached. I mean, I take that back. You could say he was outcoached against Florida State by Mike Norvell for sure. You know, this game starts off really, really poorly for LSU. The first ever error in an LSU uniform by Jack Besh happens on the opening kickoff. You know, it gives Tennessee 7 points basically. It was so shocking to see that happen. It was so shocking to see that ball go through Jack Besh's hands, just because he is so sure-handed. But you know, there's something interesting. The TV crew are saying that Jack Besh switches sides with Gregory Clayton right as the ball is kicked off, or right before the ball is kicked off. That's not true. That was not on Jack. That was actually decided by the coaching staff to move them right before that play. And I'm actually watching it again right now, and it's quite clear that that's what that is. See right here. Jack just loses it in the sun. There's no other explanation there. He just loses it in the sun. He just, you know, when you play the game long enough, you're gonna make mistakes. That's what happened here to Jack. And it sucks as someone who roots for both, you know, Jack Besh, Malik Neighbors, Kayshon Boutte, for all these guys, to see them make mistakes that cost LSU games. You know, it's tough. It sucks. I hate seeing young men that I care about caught in the crossfire like that. With all, you know, a lot of people jumping on him immediately. We just thought Malik Neighbors was the guy who fumbles the ball. Now we find out Jack Besh. Everyone's fumbling. How did they not figure this out? Well, they can't. I mean, they can't use some of our faster guys because they suck at holding on to the football. You're not going to put John Emery Jr. back there. And I mean, Gregory Clayton has made some really crazy decisions with receiving the football as well. So it was just the worst way to start a game, though, for LSU. If you're LSU, this was the worst way to start a game. Not against that team. You cannot spot them 7 points straight out of the gate. And once I saw that we were going to spot them 7 points out of the gate, I was just like, how are we going to do this? We're already behind. Then you saw something interesting. Tennessee were undisciplined. Tennessee seriously tried to do whatever they could to let LSU back in this game. And LSU would not respond. They would not respond to the moment. They would not respond to the challenge. They would not respond to the opportunities. I mean, our defense, what? Hell, you know, they shut Tennessee down big time on third down early in this game. They forced field goals, punts. I mean, they held, let's see here, they held Tennessee to 3 of 5 on third. No, that's not accurate. That doesn't seem, oh, that's just in the third quarter. Let's see that. They were 7 of 16 on third down, while LSU was 7 of 15 on third down. So, and Tennessee also had 12 penalties. 12 penalties. LSU only had the ball just a little bit underneath them. We only had 2 fewer first downs. We had the same number of third down conversions. Only 4 fewer plays than Tennessee. But when you see Tennessee were 6 of 6 inside the red zone, sacked Jaden Daniels 5 times, 3 of which were on third or fourth down. 9 tackles for loss. And then, of course, those huge 2 turnovers by LSU. The fumble that opens the game set the whole tone. It set the whole tone for the game, and that's what sucks to me is it just everyone in that crowd was looking for a big play out of the gates from this offense, points from this offense to start this game off right. And instead, we just gave it right to Tennessee and said score. I need a second. I need a second before I collect my thoughts because this is just insane. Cody Branch says the LSU fans took halftime as meaning they have to leave the stadium half full. Hey, you are entitled to all the ribbing of us that you want right now because we just gave it to you. We just gave it to you. But one thing I will say, this Tennessee team is so undisciplined that LSU should have done something here. LSU absolutely should have gotten back into this game right before half. I don't even know how the hell we didn't get back into this game before half because you know there there we were starting to throw the football. We were starting to throw the football. It was like, oh my God, Jaden Daniels is throwing the football over 5 yards, over 3 yards. Oh my God, what's going on here? This is incredible. And LSU started moving the ball, and we're holding them to field goals, Tennessee to field goals. They almost went up 14-0. Our defense makes a brilliant stand, makes it 10-0. And LSU have a chance right then to make it either 10-7, 10-3. And we get down into field goal range against a team that are scoring like crazy on us, but at the same time, a team that are finding it hard and difficult on third down against our defense. And instead of taking points, kicking a field goal, LSU go for it on 4th and 10, and Jaden Daniels is sacked. And you know what? After that, Tennessee have to kick another field goal. Tennessee had to kick another field goal because of this defense. And yet it didn't matter. It never mattered. Because our offense, they can dink and dunk, but they could never truly penetrate or pull off a kill shot against Tennessee. There was a ton of late throws. You can call them drops on our receivers all you want. You can call them drops, but to be honest, way too many of these passes are off, and I'm sick of the kid gloves with Jaden Daniels. I'm sick of the kid gloves. It is ugly, ugly football. And now you can't say that Jaden Daniels never throws interceptions. Jaden Daniels never. Look at that. How the hell is Kayshon Boutte expecting the ball right here ahead is supposed to do that in a split second at point blank range? The ball's being just thrown like it's not that far away. So that ball's coming at him fast. And I don't know if you've ever played receiver before, but you get out of your route and you turn and the ball is basically coming at you. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it usually is. You have a split second to basically just make that catch. And yes, he wants to be an NFL receiver. He's got to make those plays. He's got to make those catches. But once again, Jaden Daniels with a horrible throw. With a poor, poor throw when it's right there. Just lead Boutte into space. Just lead him into space. And then, what happens when it's 7-0 early. LSU, horrible pass by Jaden Daniels, bad, play by Kayshon Boutte, punt the ball, and what happens? 2 horrible missed tackles, and Tennessee almost go all the way to the house with a punt return. We may have limited explosive plays at times in this game for the majority of this game, but that's explosive right there. And we still only allowed a field goal off of this. That's what's incredible. Our defense did everything they could early to stay in this game, to give our offense some hope, some space, some time to get it figured out, get some momentum. And some of those drives by LSU looked good. You just never saw any end product from these drives. You never saw anything to capitalize off of Tennessee mistakes or Tennessee errors. You just saw Tennessee capitalizing off of our mistakes, our errors. Today was so tough to watch. And there I am thinking, LSU, when it's 20-0, I'm thinking, Tennessee haven't played that well. LSU can still come back in this game. LSU can still come back in this game. And Tennessee literally almost gave it to us right before half. We almost had that game at 20-14, 20-7. 20-17. Instead, we absolutely screw the pooch, and we go into half at 23-7. We give, instead of punting the ball right before half with like 14 seconds left or something, we go for it again on 4th and 8, 4th and long, where Jaden Daniels has no chance with this play. With Will Campbell out at left tackle, Cam Wire is an absolute turnstile. Anthony Bradford was really not so successful today at left tackle. So, who do we got to play at left tackle? Well, Anthony Bradford was chosen today, and he did as well as he could, did as well as expected. And still, some of those sacks were so costly today. Let me post this post-game show real quick onto Facebook, and then we'll get back into this. Because I want to go through this game, almost drive by drive, and how LSU mismanaged this game. Because I really feel like, LSU could have made this competitive. Like most people thought it would be. Because they thought, well, Brian Kelly will make sure it's competitive. Well, this is the first time since Florida State where Brian Kelly's been outcoached. And that's okay. This is supposed to be a season of learning, season of growth, of getting your shit together. But I can't pull any punches with it. LSU were outcoached by Josh Heupel today. I was just frankly stunned to see LSU literally let Tennessee's fan base take over Death Valley. Once again, if you want to join us on here, all you have to do is just send something asking for, hey, can I come on? We'll have you come on and talk about this game with us, because this is absolutely insanity. Mark J says, Tennessee fans, great win. I'm not a sore loser. Keep it going next week against Bama. We have internal issues. This is more about LSU than Tennessee. Yes, it was. Great comment, Mark J, because this is all about LSU losing this game. Tennessee scored 40 points, where roughly 15 of those points looked like they just came against an LSU team that had the air sucked out of them. So really, LSU basically kept them to a 25-point game tonight in all reality. And we still could not keep it competitive. the 40 points becomes the product of the game being over well ahead of time. Oh, Danny girl. What's up, oh, Danny girl? Can we all, she says, can we all be honest now, or do we still need to walk on eggshells and pretend that we have hope? I think that's a little defeatist. Today sucked. Today hurts. And this season, it's not going to be everything you dreamed of for LSU, just like 2019 was, just like maybe 2011 was before the title game, 2004, 2003, 04. Um, even of course the craziest season of them all, 2007. Um, but no, there's hope for the future for sure for LSU's next few years. With a fantastic recruiting classes coming in 2023 and 2024, really strong recruiting base in 2022 with guys who are the nucleus of this team. Some really strong guys from the 2021 class who are starting the last 2 years and really going to be those experienced guys over the next few. I have a lot of faith in where LSU are going in the future. Today absolutely shows you exactly the kind of team LSU are. No punches pulled, no hidden secret agendas or ulterior motives. This showed us very clearly what type of team, what type of coaching staff LSU are right now. It's not pretty. Some of the sacks Jaden Daniels took in this game were just absolutely just killed us. Just absolutely killed us. And when I'm watching these plays, some of these sacks, in fact, most of these sacks, Jaden has an option to just get rid of the football before he takes those hits. Just get rid of it. Get 4 or 5 yards. We have to punt it, okay. There's times those decisions absolutely took us out of field goal range. This is a game where LSU actually could have dinked and dunked our way to victory. This is actually a game where LSU could have actually kicked some field goals here and there and still won this game. Because Tennessee really weren't that good. They were completely undisciplined tonight. Or sorry, this morning. And Hendon Hooker, only 239 yards through the air. Had a strong 56 yards rushing, though. But all about the game, Brew McCoy had 7 catches, 140 yards out of 8 targets. And then Jalen Hyatt, the danger man we were saying before the game, just 63 yards, just 4 catches, 2 back-breaking touchdowns. LSU also created 3 fumbles and could not recover one of them. There's a great screenplay, a great screen pass from Jaden Daniels to Josh Williams. Goes for something like 20 yards right there. Where the hell was that for the rest of the game? Daniels showed what I always knew he had the first few games of the season. That's why it was so annoying that he wasn't doing it. Daniels, you're good enough to get the ball out of your hand to get yards. We're not asking you to throw for 350 a game, put up 406 touchdowns. We're not asking you to do that. We're asking you to get the ball out in space to these receivers. That's it. That is it. And tonight he actually did it. Right there, Kayshawn opened for 8 yards. Before Daniels tucks and runs that and might run into a sack there. So we saw improvement from Jaden Daniels. I mean, he had a 300-yard game today. He put up 300 yards exactly. Just one touchdown, though. Just one damn touchdown. And it's never going to get it done against this Tennessee offense. Never going to get it done. And this Tennessee defense reminds me of LSU's 2019 defense versus Ole Miss that season. But yet they're playing like Ole Miss playing like we did against Ole Miss in that one game the whole season. Really, really, really poor defense. Poor tackling defense. And you know what? They were all over us today. They must have heard that. They must have heard all the talk about poor tackling and blah blah blah, because there were not many that they missed. There's plays where they face masked us and did whatever it was to get us on the ground. They didn't care. That was clearly an emphasis from their defensive staff. Get them on the ground. Cody Branch, Tennessee fan, says, Mark J, replying to Mark J, LSU has the talent on the first team, but they don't have enough depth and zero offense. It's more of a roster problem combined with internal issues than it is LSU being more talented. I think that's a Tennessee fan being afraid of someone saying that LSU are more talented than your top 8 team. LSU might be just as talented as Tennessee. Like, we have more guys that are going to be going in the NFL from this squad than Tennessee's. I can tell you that right now. There are more LSU players who got their asses kicked in this game who will be playing in the NFL than there will be from this Tennessee team. That's not me having to really work too hard to figure that out. LSU are the more talented team, but Tennessee are doing far more with their talent. I mean, Hendon Hooker has been absolutely brilliant. Just the decisions he makes. Still no interceptions thrown. And, Josh Heupel went on the ground a lot today. And they averaged the most rushing yards out of anybody on us this season. 5.4 yards per rush against us. Small was huge. Jabari Small was huge. 127 yards, 22 carries off of us. Both him and Hendon Hooker averaged 5.8 and 5.6 per against us. Longs of 49 and 26. And then you even had their running back Wright going for 12 of 59 on us for 4.9 per carry. So really, Tennessee ran it down our throats. 49 carries, 263 yards. By far the most LSU has allowed this season. Oh, Danny Girl says, oh, wait, I do have hope. Hope that our recruits don't all start decommitting after this monstrosity week after week. Seriously? Seriously, Danny? That's a dumb comment. So because your team loses, because your team is going through a complete transition, coaching staff, head coach, so many new players, 16 different transfers, a lot of freshmen starting, you're going to think that our recruits are going to decommit because of some losses this season? If you think they're going to be decommitting for that reason, then I don't think you know much about recruiting. They know what's coming. They know what this program is about. They know where this program is. They know where Brian Kelly's at in this stage and where his staff is at. They're figuring out a lot of stuff. They got to figure out a lot of stuff, Danny. But oh, Danny girl, you can't just think that every recruit in the world is going to see this and be like, I'm gone. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. There's a, contrary to belief, athletes don't just think, oh, there's a great team, I want to be a part of that. Athletes usually think, damn, this team's losing. This team doesn't deserve to lose. This is a great program. I think I can be the one that comes in and helps them to win, helps them turn it around. I'm going to be the one who comes in there and turns it around. That's a prevailing mentality far more than, ooh, they lost to Tennessee 40-13 in a game where 15 of those points are basically coming in garbage time when LSU are already down for the count. So I'm not worried about that. And I think you're being far too negative about the wrong things here. We gotta be positive here. We gotta be realistic, and the realistic facts are LSU are shit on offense. LSU are awful offensively, and it's not just lack of production. It's the play calling. It's the timely play calling. Some of the calls are just absolutely egregious. It's 3rd and 1, a big play in the game where you have to get this conversion here and keep this drive going. 13-3, at least get a field goal up there. Make it 13-6. Instead, we run Josh Williams straight into a brick wall. I mean, that's a play where you have Jaden Daniels snap it in shotgun, survey the scene, and pick a hole. And even if he gets basically sacked, he's going to fall forward for a few yards to get that first down. Instead, we just ran ourselves into so many situations today that just were caused by a combination of bad coaching, poor execution on the field, and a team that was not ready to play today. This LSU squad didn't wake up until sometime in the second quarter when we got that touchdown, started getting things going. It just didn't matter. It just did not matter. Tennessee weren't at their best, but Tennessee showed that they're actually a serious top 10 team by taking complete advantage of our errors and mistakes and turning them into points. They took our mismanagement and turned it into points and explosive plays. We were able to hold it for most of the time, but it just wasn't to be. Brian Kelly's making comments now at his post-game speech. Oh man, it looks like our offensive line's already got some more issues. You saw Garrett Dellinger playing on a broken hand, goes out with a knee strain. Took a blow to the knee, he said. Here's Brian Kelly's opening statements from his press conference.
Well, that was not what we had planned nor expected. Expected that much better than that. Certainly, when you fumble the opening kickoff and give a extra possession to a team that obviously plays fast and loves extra possessions, and then another 3 points, it's about 10 points in special teams, put yourself into control. And that's what we did. And then our details were not very good. I mean, look, I could stand up here all day. That falls on coaching. That's on me. And I have to coach better. We've got to coach better. We've got to coach our team better.
That's exactly what you want to hear from Brian Kelly.
That's the group we have.
That's exactly what you want to hear from Brian Kelly. Taking responsibility.
Congratulations to Tennessee. And, they played well today. They were the better football team. And they certainly deserve to win today. But I have to coach this football team better. That's the bottom line. So.
Powerful opening statement there from Brian Kelly. Pulls no punches. Assigns no blame to his players. but makes it very clear, just like we opened with this post game show, when you spot an offense, any offense, 10 points on special teams before you can even blink, you're not just behind the 8 ball. You're like basically trying to climb up a cliff. And LSU ran out of time, and then right before half, just allow that extra field goal. To me, that really just deflated the team, that they were able to drive that quickly to get 3 points. Just bam, bam. And it was because of we did not understand the situation there. Situationally, you punt the football. Situationally, early, you kick the field goal, make it 10-3. LSU wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to really let it all hang out. But some of those moments were completely miscalculated. And as Brian Kelly just admitted, that falls on him, and it does. It does fall on Brian Kelly. This is the darkest moment of his reign so far. Far worse than FSU. Far worse than the moments in the Superdome. But a lot of the same things emerge once again. Special teams is an absolute disaster. I don't think Brian Kelly is going to be firing Brian Polian. Brian Polian is one of his closest advisors on the team, and is someone who's been with him for a long time at Notre Dame. He's also, alongside J.R. Belton, LSU's recruiting coordinator. So if Brian Kelly makes that change at special teams, it's a big-time change for the future of his program to get rid of someone like Brian Polian. But it's not just from Naga Tigers or LSU fans who piss themselves after every loss. There's a lot of people calling for Brian Polian's head. A lot of Tiger fans I know who really support the team, support the staff, want the best for the team, want the best for the staff. And what they're seeing, they can't deny. They can't hide from it. No one can. LSU's special teams has been diabolical. Without LSU's special teams gaffes, LSU might be undefeated right now. We could be talking about an undefeated team. Without those gaffes, maybe LSU are able to find some type of ground in this game, keep Tennessee at that 25 points that I was talking about, and find a way back in this game, find a way to win, with our receiving core leading the way. Instead, it was too little too late, and it was only we're only getting these openings because Tennessee were playing way off on us. That's just the damn truth. They were giving us those yards at the end. 40-13 is your final. 40-13 is your final. I need your opinions. I need your beliefs coming into this game. So let's catch up with some of these comments. Mark J says, Daniels was under pressure the entire game. For all you Nuss guys, we would have had 20 sacks with this O-line. I disagree, Mark, because think about it this way. And this is something that might really help understand the game of football in a lot of ways. And I'm saying this is something that I learn a lot from all the time when people kind of say, well, think about it this way. Think about it this way. You're looking at Daniels under pressure, Daniels hanging onto the ball forever, and then Daniels getting sacked. Think about Garrett Nussmeier taking that spot. Yeah, there might be some of those plays being mirror image where Nuss hangs onto the ball and takes a sack. But most of those plays, Nussmeier is throwing that ball far quicker. So the sack, the pressure doesn't even come. The ball's already out. Because he's a quarterback. He wants to throw the football. Sometimes you saw Jaden Daniels, once again, opting for his legs. And it was great because it helped LSU sustain drives. But at the end of the day, when you can't throw on the worst passing defense in the SEC and one of the worst in college football completely, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we threw for 300 yards. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Malik Neighbors had something like 80 yards. Didn't mean a damn thing. Yeah, Keyshawn Boutte caught his first touchdown of the season. Didn't matter. Keyshawn Boutte, 6 catches, 33 yards, 8 targets, 23 after the catch. Brian Thomas Jr., 5 catches, 37 yards. Kieran Lacey, 4 catches, 24. Dre Jenkins, 3 for 44. Credited with 1 drop on that play that really could have changed the game. Okay, let's talk about that play. Okay. LSU losing 20-7 are driving really well. Driving really well to make it go 2014. Okay. Daniels has Jenkins wide open down the middle of the field. This is a touchdown. This is a play that would have been a touchdown, or at least put us in the 2-3 yard line. Daniels makes a great throw. The right throw. The throw he should make. And it looks like Dre Jenkins just drops that shit. It looks like it's straight up dropped by Dre Jenkins. But on careful analysis, there is a tip on that pass that makes it so like his hands are right here. Muscle motion is ready for that ball to kind of land snug in there. Kind of cup that ball. Instead it like bounces off his thumb or something like. This is a game of inches. A game of centimeters that make the difference. If you don't believe that, you've never played the game. Just the change of the trajectory of his hands, the change of the trajectory of the ball as it came off the defender's hand. That's all that mattered. That's all that changed the game. It changed the game. It changed that play, which then changed the game. Sorry, I kind of got tongue-tied there. But LSU had a moment there. Had a little window there to get back in this game. Tennessee were really shooting themselves in the foot with a lot of penalties. 12 penalties. 12 penalties from Tennessee. 7 of 16 on third down. We were 7 of 15. But where this game was really decided was the 5.4 yards per rush compared to our 2. Their 263 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Our 55 yards from 28 carries, 1 touchdown, averaging just 2 yards per carry. And then you got Brew McCoy making 140 yards from 7 catches. It was 70 after the catch, and then you got Jalen Hyatt's 2 touchdowns. You got the 5 sacks on Jaden Daniels, 3 on critical downs. There were moments for LSU to come back in this game. And LSU pissed it away, and it is infuriating right now. It is infuriating because we didn't expect that LSU were just going to come out and just beat the shit out of Tennessee. Hell, 99.9% of people didn't expect LSU to win this game. I expected LSU to participate in a shootout today against Tennessee. because we have the talent to do that. We have the coaching staff to score the points. We really do have the quarterback to even score these points. Jaden Daniels is just not making the right decisions. He's just being really poor with the football, and I really do wonder if he has it in him to be an accurate, timely quarterback. Because, I mean, if he wants to go to the NFL after this season, forget about it. Forget about it watching this type of passing. I mean, this was his best game passing by far. And yet still, so many big plays and points left out there on the field. There's the little guy chilling right there. Glad he was out for that one, because that was just bad. That was just bad. LSU create 3 fumbles too, and we can't even recover one. Can't even recover one of them. John Emery, 4 carries, 4 yards. 4 carries, 4 yards. We held Hendon Hooker to 239 yards. It looks like a Jaden Daniels passing line. It didn't matter. To me, really, the whole game revolves around how Tennessee were able to wear down our defense with the running game, and then just absolutely gash us beyond recognition in the passing game. And that's really the biggest thing to me is LSU allowing their season high in rushing against Tennessee, a team that are so equipped to just throw the ball like crazy, and yet couldn't figure it out. And that's the thing is I feel like some of these there's so much blame going around to so many different people. A lot of people want to blame Kayshon Boutte today. That's someone I want to talk about right now. Let's talk about Kayshon Boutte right now. I want your opinion right now in the comments section. Did Kayshon Boutte give 100% for LSU today? Was Kayshon Boutte trying to win the game today, or was all the criticism, all of the curiosity about his play, was it right? Was it accurate? I mean, once again, 33 yards, 6 catches. It's just absolutely shocking. If you were to tell me that Trey Palmer would be a Biletnikoff watch candidate and Kayshon Boutte would have 1 touchdown by week 6, I would be I'd probably punch you in the face because of how just insane you would sound and how just arrogantly crazy you would be to say such a thing. But this is really the stat of the day right now. When you look at this, we just gotta look at this and tell you what we see right here. Just get ready, okay? Just get ready. Trey Palmer has 544 yards, 40 catches, and 3 touchdowns. Okay. Kayshon Boutte has 130 yards on the season. 130 yards on the season with one score. If I were to tell you before the season that Trey Palmer basically had 4 times as much production as Kayshon Boutte, you would literally spit in my face. And here we are. And I'm just wondering, there's plays where it's obvious that Jaden Daniels is throwing uncatchable passes. There's plays where the ball is bouncing right off Kayshon's hands. And so whose fault is it? Who's to blame? Everyone's to blame on this offense, on this ghastly offensive unit. But you know what? Kayshon has to be better than this. Kayshon has to answer for this. As close as I am with his family, with his father M, his father M knows I don't pull any punches. I said it after the Florida State game. I'm saying it right now. Kayshon has to be better for this team. He had the opportunities to be better. He didn't take them. I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels was a Tom Brady out there. Jaden Daniels barely gave Kayshon any chances to really express himself, to get going in the open field. But there were plays to make it happen and keep the chains moving and keep things rolling, and maybe the ball finds him again the next play. And maybe they just keep going and going and going and going back to him. But with Kayshon, it was almost like they threw him the ball, something, either a drop, a horrible throw by Jaden Daniels, or some type of miscommunication would happen. And you would see them just go completely away from Kayshon for like almost another 5 minutes. But they kept realizing we have to go to Kayshon. We have to keep going to Kayshon to keep this guy in the game. He's going to win us this game. And wow. I mean, that play is so indicative of everything that's wrong with Jaden Daniels in this offense. I just got to show this. I got to show this. I don't care if the copyright thing happens. I got to show this. Okay. We've got a third down scenario, okay? Third down scenario. Now let's see here. Let me get my head out of the way. Okay. Let's see this here, okay? Okay, watch this. Okay. Pressure's about to come. Pressure's about to come. It's about to come right and hot because we weren't able to block anybody along the interior today. You know why? We had someone playing with a broken hand in a cast, and we moved one of our best interior guys, Anthony Bradford, out to left tackle. Recipe for absolute fucking disaster. You can see it right there. Already can't block anybody, but we do have Jenkins, and I think that's Boutte. We do have them running streaks. Now let's watch how this develops. What's annoying about the Fubo is it kind of goes to black for a second. Where's the throw? Where's the throw? I don't care if they look completely open or if they're completely covered. These are LSU receivers. Oh, it's Malik. So you got Malik, you got Jure right here. Jure comes in motion. You've got all this space right here now to attack and all this space to throw the ball in. I know there's a safety coming over the top. The ball has to be out right there. The ball has to be out right there. But also, we can talk all day about this play and how this play isn't thrown well. Jaden Daniels misses the throw. Jaden Daniels doesn't even make the throw. Jaden Daniels, puts us in a poor situation. This is where the ball has to be out. But what are we doing calling this play on 3rd and 1? Why are we calling this play on 3rd and 1? It is 3rd and 1. We have one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best rushers in college football, yards after contact with Jaden Daniels. Snap him the ball in the shotgun, let him survey the front, pick a hole, and he's going to fall forward for enough for the first. I mean, instead we're just making these absolutely insane play calls. And then we do the 4th and 1 just right up the gut, telegraphed. Everyone knows it's coming at then. And there's nowhere for him to go. There's nowhere for him to go. I just can't believe how poorly we mismanaged this game. And it was still 13-0 at that time. We still had a chance to get back in this damn game. I'm not really going to be one to pick on the defense after today. I get that. I can see what that is. I can see what that is. Oh, wow, I just stepped in a diaper. Oh my God. I forgot to throw this in the garbage. I just stepped in it. Oh my God. Luckily I'm wearing a sock. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh my God. Just stepped into a disgusting diaper. Oh, but wow, we can let's do some dissection on that. What happened there? Because this was probably the kill shot in the game. The touchdown to Jalen Hyatt right here down the sideline on Jarek Bernard Converse, which is his 2nd touchdown allowed this season. Although he was LSU's highest rated defender last week, and he made our top 5 list versus Auburn. But he gets burned on this play. Right here at the top of your screen, out wide. Now, oh no, I picked the wrong guy, actually. Here's Hyatt. Going deep. It's really not even, it's very simple. He just beats him. It's very simple. He just beats him. LSU had coverage busts today. Not as much as we've seen in some of our other games. Not as heinous as some of our other games. But just left you with such a bad taste in your mouth this game. Such a bad taste in your mouth. Let's dig into some of your comments here, people. I keep going from knowing what the hell to say to being like, what the hell? I have this whole show planned on my phone of things that just happen play by play, drive to drive, of things I wanted to talk about. And we're touching on a lot of them, but I'm having some struggles getting through this, okay? Because this is so disappointing. This is so disappointing. Jordan Haddad says, ask T, does Polian have the P tape or just Daddy? Who's Ask T? Who's Ask T? Does Polian have the P tape or just... A lot of people want Brian Polian fired. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just can't see Brian Kelly making that move with Polian being such a loyalist to him. Does it need to happen? Does it deserve to happen? I think so. I think you can make that argument that maybe it's time to go. But at the same time, things are so early in this team. So early with this staff. so early in this evolution that for me, as bad as it's been, there's also, I mean, we're just seeing a lot of lack of familiarity between players, coaches, and it's really hurting the team on the field because guys don't know what the other dude is about. For example, Jack Besh. They use him so rarely, such a little amount on the field, actually giving this guy the football, that you have to wonder, do they even know what Jack Besh is about? Do they even know what this guy is capable of? Do they even understand how to get him the ball correctly to get the best out of him? And you got to wonder the same about Kayshon Boutte, because it seems like, since Steve Ensminger left LSU, no one's really been able to do it. I understand that under Jake Peets, Kayshon had 9 touchdowns in 6 games, but if you go back and watch those games, Kayshon could have had even more. There's a few touchdowns he did actually drop that season, but there's also a lot of wasted opportunities, wasted yards, because Peets just was not an offensive coordinator. Didn't understand what he was doing. Half of the receivers on each play were just running dummy routes. I'm not joking about that. That is straight from someone who played every snap for that offense last year. Okay. I mean, this just shows how, everyone ripping on Steve Ensminger has got to be just clamoring for Bayou Gandalf to come back. We need the Bayou Gandalf. We need him to come back. This is hilarious. Short Rose Outdoors says the devil has come to collect for 2019 and for 3 years straight. Dude, it seems like it, man. It seems like a Short Rose, because damn, dude. Damn. But at the same time, I'll take 10 more losing seasons as long as we get to keep 2019. Because for me, 2019 is still always going to be the greatest football team of all time. No one's going to be able to touch them. You might be able to argue the greatest just football team of all time. I understand, NFL to college comparison can be kind of weird, but as far as like just straight up football, I don't think anyone's seen a team do it better. Seen a quarterback do it better. Seen a receiving core do it better. Even a defensive backfield with Derek Stingley Jr. and Christian Fulton being shut down. Jacoby Stevens having 3 picks at safety that year. Intercepting Jalen Hurts at one point. These things, LSU were absolutely stacked. Grant Delpit back there. That's pretty unreal defense that we had in the 2019 team as well, that just rarely gets talked about. But, as far as the offense and the passing game of 2019, yeah, it feels like the devil's coming home to collect, because, as much as people want to rip on the 2020 and 2021 seasons, in 2020, we actually put up a ton of points. A lot of points under Steve Ensminger. 2021, not as much. Not even close. But with Max Johnson, we still threw for 27 touchdowns in 2021. Max Johnson was able to get the ball to a lot of different guys. I know 9 of those were to Kayshon, but there's another 18 that went to other guys. Dre Jenkins, one of the notable targets of Max's. And so, Max Johnson gets a lot of shit from LSU fans for transferring to A&M and all that, but that's a lot better than this. I can tell you that much. A lot better than 85 yards, 5 yards in the second half. A lot better than 300 still conservative yards that really got you nowhere except for a touchdown at the end of the game. Jamer. I'm glad you're watching this, because there's a surprise for you, Jamer, at the end of this. Jamer says, "Hey, Lon, it's a rough year, but I believe in our guys. Rome wasn't built in a day. Forever LSU." That's how you got to look at this right now. I understand that we want results. We want wins. We don't want to sit around and watch Tennessee come into our house, kick our ass, be singing Rocky Top in our stadium. It's so hard to take. It's hard to take. Hard to watch. But without these moments, we are not going to find out where we are at the end of this rainbow. Or I guess you could call it, to quote Mr. Leahy from Trailer Park Boys, shit bow. At the end of this shit bow, I think you're actually going to see LSU be really in a good spot for the next few years because of tough days like today. Because of tough wins like against Auburn and Mississippi State. Because of embarrassments on national television like against Florida State. Because of maybe his failure or failure so far in his relationship with Kayshon Boutte, maybe that'll help our coaching staff kind of figure out how to coach some of these players better, how to be mentors to some of these players better. Because I got to say, they're not handling every single thing 100% like you would want, and that was expected before the season. That was expected. This is going to be a year of learning, of growth, of losses, of defeats, but no one expected 40-13 to Tennessee. 40-13. But here's the thing. Think of how far LSU has come under Brian Kelly. Think of your own personal expectations coming into the season. Yes, 40-13 really, really is devastating. It's disappointing. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to let Tennessee come into our house and do that to us. But, it's the first 40-point game allowed under Brian Kelly. And it's the first time that there wasn't a response to a deficit under Brian Kelly. Every other time there was a response to the deficit. And there was a response to the deficit. Or, sorry, I should say, every time there was LSU were down in these previous 5 games, there were 3 comebacks. It should have been 3 game-winning comebacks. Only 2, but 3 comebacks. LSU responded today when we went down 20-0. LSU responded. They pushed. They scored. But when it was 20-7 and you had that football right before the end of the half, and you had that chance, find Ray Jenkins streaking on a Sunday, wide open, down the middle of the field, and you could not hit him without getting that ball tipped. And then Jure cannot, recover from the tip and adjust to make the catch. That's just, oh my God, this game fucking sucked. This game fucking sucked. But you know what? I mean, it all goes back to the beginning. When LSU are coming into this type of a game with all the talk throughout the week, and we fumble on the opening kickoff, echoing the mistakes of Malik Neighbors against Florida State, the 2 fumbles, then everyone's immediately, oh shit, and then Tennessee basically walk it in, score. And then LSU were holding them to some field goals, keeping them down, keeping them contained a bit. And they just keeps crawling up to 7, to 10, to 13, to 20. And then finally at 20-0, LSU responded. After our offense still gave Tennessee the ball back up at 20-0, and we could have gone down 27-0. It's just, I mean, the stops LSU's defense made early, the plays LSU's defense made early, everything was set up for our offense to just complement them with a touchdown or two. If LSU had just been like losing 20-10 even, that defense is playing with such fire and intensity. But when they're down 20-0, and then it goes down to 23-7, and then they get drove on like that in just a few plays. It is tough. It is tough. And that is exactly what, they understood how to call the kill shot tonight. When there was a turnover on downs and Heupel senses it, he called a bomb down the sidelines to Jalen, whatever the hell his name is, Jalen Hyatt, and just that really greased us. That really greased us at that point in the game. And that's the thing right there. LSU kept them at so many third and shorts, but it just feels like they were able to convert every time. They were using a lot of jet sweeps, pulling receivers into the backfield, but really, Jabari Small went off on LSU today. He went off. And even Hendon Hooker averaged 5.6 yards per carry on us. Like I've said before, there's a lot of things that are even in this game. Or maybe that Tennessee even screwed up. But when you give up such horrible penalties, Colby Richardson had at least 3 pass interferences. Our offensive line had how many horrible problems up front. And then not only our offensive line, but our offense as a whole with these illegal shifts, illegal motions, too many men on the field. Just, what the fuck? Figure it out. These post-snap issues should not be happening in week 6 after 2 SEC games. And you've had 2 warm-ups. You've had 2 warm-up games, 2 walkover exhibition games. And this is what happens? You let Tennessee do this? DJ asked, why is Kayshawn always in the slot? They need to put him back outside. I've got people asking me, why is Kayshawn always outside? We need to put him in the slot. Kayshawn's been moved all over the place. I can show you that right now. The problem is, it's the quarterback, it's the receiver. Both of them they suck together. They straight up just suck together. They might like each other off the field, but there's no chemistry there. Absolutely, all the chemistry we witnessed in fall camp between these two, I think there was like 4 or 5 touchdowns that Jaden Daniels threw to him, and it didn't matter. I mean, this is the type of day LSU had. This is the type of day in a nutshell that LSU had right here. Let me show you this. This is the type of day that LSU had in a nutshell. Okay. Watch this play. One of the biggest plays of the day. Greg Brooks Jr. forces a fumble. No. Sampson almost returned the fumbled recovery for a first down. We also hit the crap out of Hendon Hooker on that play too. Didn't matter. Could have been a game-changing play if we would have been able to recover at least 2 of those fumbles, 2 of those 3 that we forced. Oh, man. We were poor against the run today. And I feel like that really had a lot to do with our loss here today. You didn't see Tennessee playing this nonstop, up-tempo, fast-paced offense. That's not what we witnessed at all. We witnessed Heupel taking his time a lot, and then we saw a quick blitzkrieg of 5 or 6 plays, and then we saw them being more methodical, and then a quick blitzkrieg, and then more methodical, and they wore us down through that. Let's get back to some more of your comments here. Jamer says, "Am I happy with the loss? No. So I think the worst has passed us? No. But I will always be 100% go Tigers all the way." Yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be LSU's worst loss of the season. I don't think Alabama is going to be a worse loss. I think we actually match up a lot better against Alabama than we do against Tennessee, because even though we took advantage of the receiving matchups against Tennessee today, we didn't do it for any kill shots. We didn't score any touchdowns except for, the garbage time Keyshawn touchdown. So I don't know what to make of this team, except for there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of curious decisions by the staff at times. I mean, where the fuck was Harold Perkins? Harold Perkins was not on the field for like the first 5-6 drives. Where was he? And Greg Penn III was found out today. His lack of pace was absolutely exposed time and time again by Hendon Hooker and by Jabari Small. It was, for Greg Penn III being talked about as more of a run-stuffing linebacker, that's where his strengths are in comparison with being better in coverage. Well, how is he supposed to help us when they absolutely ran right down his throat today? Oh yeah, you said that Keyshawn was in the slot too much or whatever. Let me look this up. I need to move him out of the slot and move him back to this. Okay. Keyshawn has been in the slot for 46 snaps this season. Okay. This isn't counting the Tennessee game yet. 46 snaps in the slot, 86 out wide. Okay. He played 30 snaps in the slot against Auburn, the most snaps of any game this season. Only 10 snaps in the slot in week 3, 2 in the slot against Southern, 4 in the slot against Florida State. So it seems to me that there's either one or the other. I think they should totally eschew that and go for balance. Have him in the slot for 15 plays. Have him out wide for another 15 plays. Put him in the backfield for 2 or 3. There needs to be far more creativity with Keyshawn. And after a game like today, and I know that the furor online towards Keyshawn is going to hit beyond an all-time high. There's going to be a lot of horrible stuff said about Keyshawn. That's just what happens in college football. I don't like it. I don't like to see it, especially when I'm a new father myself. I know how difficult it is to raise a little one. I mean, I'm trying to do my job right here with him squirming right there, This is a big new life for Keyshawn. And, he hasn't been at his best, not even close. Jaden Daniels isn't the right quarterback to get him the football. But the fact that Max Johnson threw, 16, 15 touchdowns over 2 seasons to Booty, shows me that, like, if Max can do this, why can't Jaden Daniels do this? And it's because he chooses more. He chooses his legs more than he chooses the receivers. Today, you could tell he was forced, absolutely forced by our staff to throw the damn football. Because there's just simply plays where he had to hang in there for a little bit longer than he usually would and make the throw. And that's another issue. Why are we not just running these quick strike passing plays every damn down? And then go deep. And then set up the deep ball, which we never threw. We never threw a deep ball today. I can't wait for those Pro Football Focus grades for today to come out, because it's not going to be good reading. Even a guy like Mekhi Wingo, my man Mekhi, the number one run stopper for LSU, he probably didn't have as good of a day too, because of just the nature of what happened. It seemed like everybody was off their game today. It seemed like everybody was out of whack. Seiji, buddy. Want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi, Seiji? Yeah. This kind of helps relieve that pressure of his gas. Just kind of lean him forward there and kind of get that gassy out. My sweet little tiger. Sorry, doing what we can. It's not my fault if you don't want to watch babies. It's what we doing what we can. Here, buddy. There's a good fart. There's a good fart. Timeout on the field. Timeout on the field. There you go. There's some interesting comments flooding, and you guys, I gotta hand it to you, are a killer audience, and you're bringing it today. You're bringing it today. Your LSU Tigers didn't bring it today. You are. Thank you for tuning into this. Mark J says Kayshawn looks a few steps slower since his injury. I don't think it's from lack of effort. Max Johnson forced the ball to him. Mark, that's a really interesting thing you just put up there. Could Kayshawn's double surgery this offseason be affecting everything? His explosiveness after the catch, but not only that, his very mentality going into the games, knowing that there's limitations to what he usually can do in his skill set. If that's the truth, that is horrifying to me, because Kayshawn is one of the most brilliant offensive players I've seen in a long time due to his vision. His vision is so fucking unbelievable, where he can see 3 or 4 moves ahead of anyone else. He just makes one cut and he is gone. I've only seen a few players like that. Reggie Bush, Percy Harvin, of course, Barry Sanders. Emmitt Smith could do that at times, but he was more slower and kind of more of a power back. But he did have some just breathtaking ability to make these cuts and have great vision. Marshall Faulk was another one of these freaks. And so you've got Kayshawn and esteemed company that are mostly running backs too. Like, maybe utilize Kayshawn out of the backfield. Do whatever you can to get him the damn football. I don't care where you put him. Literally snap it and just go. Just flip it to him from 2 feet away. Make sure he gets a touch. But, that's the thing, is you're saying the lack of explosion. There's a lot of times we've seen him get those touches, and then we see him hesitate. coming around the bend instead of just flying full throttle into it. But a lot of what Kayshawn makes him special is he'll hesitate, wait, see that opening, and then just boom, makes that cut and goes way across the field and then turns it up. And you think there's no way physically possible that he's going to escape this guy coming over here, and he's just, and just the guy never can catch him, is literally tripping on the ashes of his wake. And we haven't seen that this season. And that's not just because Kayshawn hasn't gotten it going. It's because Kayshawn hasn't gotten the ball in space whatsoever either. This offensive play calling, this quarterback choice, our philosophy choice, has been damning for Kayshawn's chances, just as much as his own ineffectiveness in his own drops, because he has straight up dropped the football at times. It hurts to see. Mark J says, offensive play calling was atrocious. Our defense eventually got worn out. Exactly. I can't even believe how long they lasted. It just shows you how talented this defense is. But it also shows that maybe they knew all along that, hey, this is going to be a long game, and we're really going to have to prop our offense up and keep them alive, like, this mummy or something, like, was this Weekend at Bernie's or something, like trying to prop the, like, God. Tari Love, shitty diaper, LOL. Yep, we stepped right in that, ruined one of our favorite, most comfortable socks. Still got one of the socks on, but we had to take the other off. So pissed about that. That's the thing with me. If I'm pissed off about something, I'm like, oh God, that sucks, and then I'm done with it. I don't even think about it. It doesn't even affect me. I just say, like, oh, that's annoying, or oh, that pisses me off. And then I'm gone. I'm done with it. And there's might be people around who are like, oh, it's still affecting him, or wondering, and it's like, what? Yeah, the diaper, I mean, that, literally, shit happens. Tari Love, Mike Denbrock is not an SEC offensive coordinator. Wow. Wow. Tari Love just dropped the mic. Just literally dropped the mic. Mike Denbrock is not an SEC offensive coordinator, is what Tari Love just said. Now, Tari, I've got to say the jury's still out on that. We don't know the answer to that yet for sure. But what we do know is he's struggling to get the most talented players on LSU's team to football consistently, or even just getting them the ball, period, at times. I mean, there's been some games where Kayshawn's had 2 targets by the end of the game. And I see so many matchups that just LSU's receivers are just dominating. Once again, 2nd and 9 in the red zone. You've got great routes going in front of you. Jaden Daniels hesitates for 2 seconds, the length of time it would take him to throw the football. And by then, he's getting clobbered. 1-2, bam! Ball should be out. But he's too afraid to take a hit, knows he can escape the first hit, and so will. And then he runs himself right into another hit. That is the problem with Jaden Daniels. He has such brilliance with his feet that he always thinks I can escape and escape and escape. But sometimes your escaping is actually burying you and your offense more. That's just, he made some nice 3rd and 13 throws. One to Mason Taylor right there that almost scored a touchdown. One early to Jack Besh. His only target and catch of the game. I mean, I understand that Jack fumbled the ball on the first play of the game. And I love to see that Kelly went right back to him for that 1 catch, 14 yards on 3rd and 13. Big conversion. But what is that going to do to someone's confidence when you've really given them nothing all season long? You put them at punt returner. They literally take one to the damn house. He's called back by the most ridiculously erroneous, soft penalty I've ever seen. And then he just continues to not get the ball at all because you're a punt returner. That's good enough for you. That's good enough for you to get the ball. And then Jack comes into his own in a way against New Mexico, gets the ball a lot more, starting to look better. Still not even close to how much he should be getting the ball, and he still made the most of it. And then you come into today, okay, where a player who only has 12 total targets this season. 12 total targets this season. I mean, Chris Hilton Jr. had 10. Okay? Mason Taylor has 23. And you're going to tell me Jack Bech only has 12 targets on the season? Fuck that bullshit. Seriously. And there's a reason Jack Bech fumbled. There's a reason Jack Bech fumbled. You barely even give him the damn ball. There's a reason our receivers drop these passes. I'm not trying to give him an excuse. But there's a lack of familiarity with the damn ball. Not to mention being worn out from running constant routes without getting anything to keep you going. Nothing to keep the confidence. Nothing to keep your athleticism fresh. It's just very weird to me to see Jack Bech at 12 targets on the season. Let me just explain that to you if you don't understand. That is the total amount of times the ball has been thrown to Jack. 12 times. Okay? 12 times. Only 2 passes did he not catch this season, and those were ridiculously errant throws that, of course, 0 drops from Jack as well. So don't try and say that there was a drop anywhere there. 0 drops. He's also made 4 tacklers miss as well. One of the best at making tacklers miss, making defenders miss the play. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? That means that's a guy who can help you win games. If he's making defenders miss tackles in space, which would mean linebackers, safeties, corners, usually if those guys are missing tackles at the back end, usually a touchdown is going to result in it. But no, just don't trust Jack Bech at all. Just hang him out to dry after his fumble and just one catch. Just one catch. It's bullshit. It is absolute bullshit to me. And it's indefensible at this point. Who can defend what happened today? Who can defend some of the decisions? The 4th down, 4th and 10 going for it. 4th and 8 going for it. When we should have just kicked the field goal and punted it. Right there, that's 6 points off the board. Then the fumble from Jack Bech, that's 13 points right there off the board. So right there, you're almost, you're only keeping them 27 points if you keep those plays off the board. That's more than doable. That's more than a winnable game for this LSU offense, right? Not even close. Not even close. I thought for a fact if LSU could keep Tennessee under 30, we have a 9 out of 10 chance to win this game. That's how hungry this team felt. That's how determined this team felt. That's how ready this team seemed. And it's just, we missed Will Campbell big time today. Our thoughts, our prayers, all of it towards Will, because Will absolute great young man, and it sucked to see this happen to him right before a game that he would have done just about anything to play. And when you miss leaders like that, guys who don't accept, won't accept mediocrity, won't accept disgraceful performances, will call out and take you to task on the sidelines. When you miss those type of guys, Major Burns as well, it affects your football team. It affects your football team. And really the biggest issues of this game have to go down to the lack of management there early. Like I just rattled off. Special teams wise, and our decisions of whether to punt or to kick a field goal handed them 13 points before the game had even begun. Okay. It's just, we have said it all week long. If LSU find themselves down 10, it's probably still going to be a close game. They find themselves down 17, we don't know. If they find themselves down 20, everyone's pretty much of consensus. Forget about it. Forget about it. Yeah. We got, of course, so many comments in here. So many comments in here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Absolutely love you guys. Jamer says, Lahan, number one rule in diaper duty is put the dirty diaper in the trash immediately. I know, Chelsea's going to kill me. Like, she's going to reverse O.J. Simpson my ass. Like, I seriously changed him while watching the drive where Jere Jenkins had the ball tipped and it went in and out of his hands. I'm changing him thinking like, LSU, you're about to come. We're going to make this 20-14 and this game ain't over yet. This is far from over. LSU's going to beat Tennessee. Hell yeah, buddy. And I'm literally like getting Sage all jazzed up and he's starting to pee, almost pees all over himself and me, but luckily we prevented that somehow. I'm not gonna hide this. I'm putting this on, baby. I don't give a fuck that we lost 40-13. Tari Love says passing defense did well. It was the run defense. The linebackers that we had out there had terrible gap assignments, no speed, and lack of communication. Well, I mean, Tari as well. This passing defense was exposed big time too. They really weren't exposed as much as we thought they would be. Only 239 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, only 17 completions for Hendon Hooker. Definitely like his lowest producing passing game of the season. But we weren't able to sack him. We barely pressured the guy. Brew McCoy went off for 140. And then you had Jalen Hyatt, who's always gonna score in this game. 2 touchdowns from him out of just 4 catches. So while being mostly contained, he caught 2 touchdowns out of his 4 total catches. But like you said, it's really where the tale for me is told with the rushing defense. 263 rushing yards on LSU. LSU allowed 206 to Southern, with most of those yards coming in garbage time. Outside of that game, LSU have really done well in containing the run game. We had 201 to Southern, and that was totally with like all of it being in garbage time. Let's see. Mississippi State. Auburn. That field goal right back before half to make it 23-7 was just such a hurting thing, because when they did it, LSU were getting close to being back in this game, and then they just bury that field goal, and it's just like a knife to the heart, because it's just a field goal, but 20-7 is a lot different than 23-7. Let me tell you. God, guys, I can't believe it. Natalie Vittori, what is up? What is up, Natalie? How you doing? You're always on here, but we never see you on LSUODYSSEY.com. LSUOdyssey.com is where you can see all of our content, not just our random YouTube videos and insanity. This is just what we do on the side, really, and just kind of to supplement what we do on the site. Our writing is really where everything is at, and our writing is really what we're best at. It's really where the true message of our site, I feel, is represented. But we try and put out as many wide-ranging pieces of content as possible, just because we can do it all. We're not just someone who has a podcast. We're not just someone who writes. We're not just someone who breaks news or reports information. We're not just somebody who does interviews. We're not just somebody who covers the team and hides in the background or something. We do it all. We do all of it, and we've wanted to show you that, hey, we can continue to do this as a one-person show. We'd love to have people come on board and add them to our team, non-existent team, I should say. But we just are glad to have you here. We're just glad to have you here. And Natalie, I don't know. It was a tough day, wasn't it? Good to see you in here, though. Glad to see you in here. Natalie says, we are losing for 20 points. Why BK did not give an opportunity to Nuss. Well, Natalie, Nussmeier doesn't really deserve the opportunity in a way, because, I mean, he hasn't shown that he can command an offense. Being a quarterback isn't just about throwing the football and your prowess throwing the football. It's about organizing every single player at the line of scrimmage and making sure they know what the hell they're doing on every single play. And that means that you have to correct them if they're out of formation. You see great quarterbacks like, hey, get over here, because they know exactly where everybody's supposed to be. You see Tom Brady all the time. He's in the shotgun, and he'll tell the guy, like, move to my left, instead of being on my right. Like, always pointing at the tight end, get out into the slot. Like, there's just all sorts of things that you will see great quarterbacks do to correct people at the line of scrimmage. That, if you want me just to paint it into one play, the example, Nussmeier's first or second play against Auburn, he calls a play, gets some kind of weird checks at the line of scrimmage wrong, and you got one side of the offensive line going one way, blocking one direction, and the other side of the offensive line going straight at them. So basically what you got is your offensive line going like this instead of going like blocking like this. Sorry, I get my hands in the middle. They're in their stance and they're exploding like this. They're kind of pushing them out, or pushing them up, or pushing them right, or pushing them left. It's you go together, parallel. It's not crossing, because if you cross blocks like that, I mean, John Emery Jr. fumbled the ball on the play because of that, and because he's got butterfingers. But fourth fumble in 3 years. It's just that's the thing too. Tennessee also missed a field goal when they were going to go up 23-7 before half. But yet we had to go for it on this fourth down. They get the huge sack. They throw one pass down the field, and suddenly they are up. They get that field goal back. I mean, what the hell is Jaden Daniels doing right there? A shovel pass right there? Just chucking it to Josh Williams when you have options. I mean, everyone's going to say he didn't have options. He didn't have options. But if you actually watch the routes, the releases, and if Jaden has the opportunity to recognize or not, bam. I mean, I'm just gonna show it like this is a joke. This is 3rd and 10 on a drive that cost us this game. And then look at that green line. Field goal range. Equal points for LSU. Get us points. I don't know if that's Mason Taylor or if that's Jack. I think it might be Mason, and then this is Jack down here. You've got to get him the fucking football. You have got to get him the ball here. How does Jaden Daniels not release this ball? And you even got Malik up here, if that's Malik. You've got him right here. You throw this ball accurate right here. You know, you throw it to him right into this area, into space. You've got Malik catching it, and then he's gone all the way up into here. Instead, when the ball is behind here or whatever, you know, even though Jaden doesn't even throw the ball, he waits for Josh Williams to get free and just hucks it towards him. When you've got all this space right here, and you're making throws back against their left shoulder, their trailing shoulder, how in God's name are they able to make a catch and then make a play? That shows everything right there. That shows everything on why this team is suffering in the passing game. It's not on the receivers. It's not always on Mike Denbrock. It's not always on, you know, these receivers are dropping the ball. The buck stops with the quarterback, the dude who touches the ball every play. And I'm someone who still maintains that, yes, Jaden Daniels is our best option right now to win games. But really, I'm fighting every impulse not to say put Walker Howard in the damn game. Because obviously there's a plan. Walker is going to be a redshirt freshman. That's what Jamie Howard wants to see. It's what Brian Kelly wants to see. But you can tell Kelly just cannot wait. Cannot wait for the day that Walker Howard starts for this LSU team. You know, we probably needed Jaden Daniels and his legs to get some wins this season to fight against that struggling offensive line. But after you see today, I don't want to hear any more arguments about Jaden Daniels being the truth. Jaden Daniels being like this absolute freight train. You know, he's got so much to work on if he's going to be in the NFL. It's not even funny. He's got so much to work on passing the ball, his recognition, awareness of where everyone is, like just the awareness of the routes, the awareness of the pressure. Yeah, see, this is interesting right here. LSU allowed 75 rushing yards to Mississippi State, okay? And then against Auburn, we allowed 101 total. Tink Bigsby, Jarquez Hunter. Nothing. 101 total rushing yards. And then today, you know, and only 140 against Florida State as well. And then today, 200 and 63. Jamer says, hi, Sagey. Auntie Jamie loves you. He's doing this crazy stuff when he likes to. Hide behind the blankie. Sweet. He's such a strong little dude, too. Like, if he's, like, seriously sleeping and he's, like, uncomfortable or he's in a weird position, he moves. He moves his body out of these positions. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's times with his head and neck that he's just like, he's one of the strongest, our doctor who said he's literally seen, treated something like 30,000 children in his time. This guy was in his like late 60s, almost about to retire as a doctor, a pediatrician. And he's saying that that Sage was the strongest little boy or little girl he has ever treated. And he was like, I'm not just saying that. And he's like, do you have bodybuilders in the family? I was like, hell no. Have you seen my arms? My God. And obviously, we played sports in our family. Everybody played sports, but not professionally, Natalie Vittori says, I do not think that Mike Denbrock is not an SEC offensive coordinator. Why BK did not give an opportunity to quarterback Nuss? You keep saying that. Nussmeier is not ready to start for LSU this season, Natalie. I don't know how much more I have to make that clear to you. You can have your opinion, I can have mine. But when you can't even organize the offensive line, when our offensive line is literally playing with guys with broken hands and true freshmen, when our running back core have like 3 guys total, when our defensive secondary are held together with gum, transfers, and the grace of Jay Ward and Greg Brooks, you can't really say, oh, let's have a redshirt freshman go in there and lead us, even though, like, Natalie, did you see the 2 interceptions Nussmeier threw versus Southern? I really need an answer from you on that. And you have to answer me on that, or else I won't read any more comments about you saying Nussmeier needs to play or needs to start. Can you really suggest that we, have Jaden be the guy, and then he's not looking good against Tennessee, but it's actually still his best game, and then we pull him out because he's finally throwing the football? How in the hell are we supposed to manage him the rest of the season after that? Kill his confidence? Get rid of him? It's only our 2nd loss. And it's a shitty bad loss. Right as we enter this month that is a gauntlet. Florida, Ole Miss. After that, you got Alabama, Arkansas. I'm not worried about A&M. That'll be a slop fest that we'll definitely win there. But I just really feel like you haven't been watching Nussmeier well enough. What about Garrett Nussmeier's in-game abilities make you think he can start right now over Jaden Daniels and be better and actually win games for this team? Because there's only a few things for me that see that. His play against Arkansas last year, where he does the spin to his left out of a sack, rolls to his left, and then throws a howitzer down the field for Jack Besh for the touchdown in the back of the end zone. That play was absolutely show-stopping, lights out, brilliant. Have we seen it since? No, we haven't. We haven't seen anything like that even since, except for the screen pass last week, 2 weeks ago to Brian Thomas Jr. that he took for 57. Basically just a quick screen, Brian Thomas Jr. does the rest. But Natalie, I think you're missing something here. I think you're missing the Southern tape, where you saw Nuss rattled, you saw things that weren't really going his way. and he didn't respond well to it. And then there's also Auburn, where it's like after the way Kelly lit him up and the way Nussmeier looks going to the sidelines after that, I don't think it would be right to put him in at quarterback either. He's not feeling it. It's not like it's feeling like it's not his season, not his time or something. And if you're going to try and force that, you really might ruin a really promising quarterback in the future for LSU. That's the thing is Nussmeier could be our 2023 powerhouse starter over Walker. We have no clue right now. But the one thing I'm more worried about than anything is being stuck with Jaden Daniels for another season. Jordan Haddad says, somebody get the P-tape from Polian and any copies he made and move on. Once again, a lot of calls for Brian Polian to be fired. 7 minutes later, Jordan Haddad again. Somebody get the P-tape from Polian and any copies he made and move. People have it out for Polian. Our special teams have been a disaster. But is it all on the coach? Let's be honest here. I want to know how you all see football. Is it all on the coach when on-field mistakes happen? Well, depends on a lot of different factors. Did the coach put the players in the right place with the right frame of mind to make a play, to make something positive happen? Or did these coaches basically play these players in the worst positions possible to get the least out of them, basically making them swim upstream the whole game? Did these coaches not understand the technical abilities or lack thereof of their player to take on the position, take on the role? And special teams is a very intense phase of the game that is so overlooked. And when you overlook it, when you overlook special teams, you get your asses beat. You get your asses nailed to the wall. That is now LSU's second loss that you can basically give to special teams. We wrote it in our season schedule preview, and I'm even going to link that below. People can have fun at my predictions for Florida State and Tennessee. But in our LSU schedule prediction piece released August 28th, we absolutely projected that our special teams cost us at least one game, if not multiple. And I'm going to say it. Special teams has cost us 2 games now. This game is not on the defense. This game is more on the offense, really, than anything. But the special teams, the way the special teams opened up this game, absolutely doomed us from the beginning. I just posted a link to our LSU schedule predictions piece there in the chat. If anyone wants to check that out. DJ says, I hate we went for it on 4th down and failed every time. I didn't think it was necessary to go for it over and over in the first half. No, it wasn't. It was all just out of, we want to show that we're aggressive. We want to show that we're here to do this. And fuck, it was the worst thing we could have done. You've always got to read the room, which when I'm talking about this game means read the room. We shouldn't even be in this thing. We shouldn't even be in this thing. And yet we have a chance to pull it within, make it, what was it going to be, 20 to 10 or 13 to, I'm sorry, it was going to be 10 to 3 at that point if we kicked a field goal. Instead, 13 to 3. Instead, it became wild. We were down 20 to nothing at one point. So you basically surrendered 20 points out of nowhere before Tennessee really even got going. Tennessee didn't really have to get going. Tennessee didn't really have to do anything. But going for it on 4th and 10 with 28 seconds left on your own 45 is not. Here's the play right here. This made us 0-3 on 4th down at the time. Okay, you've got Mason Taylor open to make the play. Let me show you this. You've got Mason Taylor open to make the play. Here's the thing. If you wait to throw this ball, if Jaden Daniels waits to hit Mason Taylor, it gives this guy time to get over here and get a slower Mason Taylor before he can cross that, not only a first down line, but a field goal line. This is another moment where LSU just leave points on the field. Okay? If Daniels quickly just, boom, boots this to Taylor, Taylor's going to bulldoze this dude, or this dude, either one of them, and he's going to get that first down. He's going to get that first down right now if Daniels just hits him quickly with the football, only a yard past the line of scrimmage. That's why, recognition and getting the ball out of your damn hands quick does so much. Because it's not just about giving your player time, space to make the play. It's about denying this guy the opportunity to get there to make a play. This isn't Caskey's clicker. This is Phillips's pointer. But yeah, and what happens? Jaden Daniels waits, and he gets demolished. Let's see the play in full motion now here. So here's the thing in full regalia. Okay, we got Taylor in motion. Why don't we do that with Booty? Put him in motion like that. Bam. Yes. Maybe Taylor doesn't beat that guy. Maybe Taylor has to make a move and gets to like 1 yard or 2 yards before the first down marker. But you punt the ball here. You punt this football. And that's just one route that we were looking at. Let's watch these other routes. Really, Daniels just he has a chance here with Booty down here. He has a possible chance. But I mean, what a great play. 5 sacks on us. 5 sacks on us. 9 tackles for loss. And LSU, for the first time this season, 0 sacks. 0 created turnovers. Damn. Damn. It's just LSU had opportunities here. LSU had opportunities here. You let him get away. Natalie Vittori, sorry for asking twice is a mistake for me. Natalie, it's okay. You can ask however many times you want. I'm just going to be real with you. Okay? I just don't agree with you. Nussmeier, I think, as much as I really like his talent, love what he could bring mentality-wise to this team and this offense, he's got such a spark, whereas Jaden Daniels is just way too chill, way too cool to like get the team going, to be a rah-rah guy at times, which is what this team needs so badly right now. You've seen whenever there's someone who's not afraid to be vocal, the team responds. But it seems like we got leaders in positions who are too cool to be seen doing that. And it's really been left up to our young guys to be those vocal presences. Just read that. Just read that. Jordan Haddad is killing me right now. Ari Love, thoughts on 6-6 season? Well, a 6-6 season, I guess, would be, what? Well, it would either be 7-6 or 6-7 with the bowl game. But 6-6, I guess it is what it is. That's what's going to happen with this season. It's going to be a case of it is what it is type of thing, type of thinking. But while you're disappointed, while you're pissed off, while you're frustrated, while you're thinking about anything else but the horrible game that we're watching unfold in front of us, think about this. What we're laying right now, the foundation, is what is going to be the revenge tour for the next few years to come. Will Campbell might not have played today, but he'll be back soon. Emory Jones may have had one of his more struggling games tonight and, struggling over the last 2 weeks, but he'll come good and be just fine and be a big time Tiger in the future for us. Jack Besh had the fumble in the first play of the game. His first error, his first mistake in an LSU uniform in just under 500 snaps. He'll be just fine as long as you actually give him the damn ball and give him the chance to atone. He made a mistake. But guess what? We're backing our guy. Okay? We're backing our guy. We're backing our crew. Okay? God, what is this fly doing on me? Get out of here. This fly's been bugging the shit out of me all 2 hours here. Chris Smith says, get ready to get beat down by Florida next week. Hey, Chris, you might want to focus on the past with LSU, and we got Florida's number. It's been since 2018, buddy. It's a long time ago. The World Cup was in Russia in 2018. Now they won't let anything happen in Russia in 2022. Man, it's rolled away. We had a different president. Yeah, a lot of things different in 2018 compared to 2022. Joe Burrow didn't have a Heisman Trophy yet, so especially the last 2 years, dude. You should probably watch the smack talk. We beat you back-to-back seasons with like no one on our roster, like 35 guys, 40 guys on our roster. Guys getting hurt, suspended, opting out the whole week preceding. We have Max Johnson as a true freshman starting because of the injuries and the lack of belief in TJ Finley. And we come into the swamp. You guys absolutely embarrassed yourselves with the Marco Wilson shoe throw. And we really humiliate you guys in a season where you guys were Kyle Trask for Heisman, blah, 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 blah. Florida's back. And then you get embarrassed by at home. In the swamp, you let Max Johnson, true freshman, kick your ass. That's hilarious. Kayshon Boutte absolutely dominated you on the day. Ty Davis Price was probably going to have a 200-yard day that game if he didn't break his ankle in the first quarter. He had 60 yards in the first quarter alone. We're absolutely really dominating you that day. And then last year, even crazier, half of our starting defense, I think 3/4 of our starting defense, were out for the season. Just done. No Stingley, no Ollie Gay, Jay Ward. No, Jay Ward was in that game. Who else was hurt? Who else was hurt? I can't remember all who was hurt. But Eli Ricks as well. Basically, 3/4 of LSU starting defense out hurt against Florida. So many players on that team just done for, opting out, injured, suspended, whatever. COVID. Morning game. LSU know that they're going to fire their coach. And still, we put up 40 plus on Florida. And not only that, but Ty Davis Price has the single game all-time leading rushing record in LSU history, better than Leonard Fournette, Kevin Falk, Darius Geis, some of the greatest running backs in LSU history, Kenny Hilliard, and he went off for the most single game rushing yards in LSU history. So Chris, we put up 40-point games on you the last two years, or sorry, actually, last 3 years. We've scored over 40 points on you the last 3 years. You've had some embarrassing losses. You had a possible college football playoff loss that took away the college football playoff from you guys in 2019 or 2020, that college football playoff contention. And you're going to try and say that Florida is going to absolutely just kick our ass. I mean, I remember comments like this the whole week before the 2020 and 2021 installments, and it was funny. 2019, you guys thought you were 2019 LSU. And so we had to smack you in the ass and show you exactly how LSU does it at Death Valley that night. DJ with a brilliant, really like this. DJ says it's too many long developing routes. That falls on the OC. We need more slants, crossers, and in routes. What I've been saying, what I've been writing nonstop, and it always feels like people are like, "What are you talking about? It doesn't matter." It's like, dude, if Jaden Daniels is seeing that the route's still developing, how can he release the football? Like you see okay, coming near the end of the route, release it. He's going on an in. Okay? When he goes up to here, then you throw the ball right as he's making that angle. Not like he goes and then you throw it. He's going to have to stop the route basically. Throw him into that space. Finish the route with the throw in a way. I don't think Jaden Daniels knows how to understands how to do that. He's learning how to do that. But when you're not running enough slants, crossing routes, mesh concepts, in routes, easy hitches where just bullet the guy the ball, he gets 6 yards at a minimum. It's just stupid. We're just giving away yards, giving away points. And LSU gave away about 20 points tonight to Tennessee. The fly is bothering you because it smells the crap you stepped in. Well, I threw away the sock. I guess I could have washed the sock, but I just threw it away. I threw it in the garbage right then immediately because we got the garbage right over here. But yeah, that fly is that fly. That's one thing that sucks about having babies is suddenly it becomes a lot more gross, a lot more dirty, a lot more. You know what I'm talking about. 40-13. 40-13. How does LSU respond from this going against Florida? Did LSU focus way too much on needing to pass the ball this week and not enough on running the ball? Are LSU like getting caught up in what people outside of the program are saying about the team? Maybe just if you guys want to run the ball with Jaden Daniels every damn play and we throw for 10 yards in the entire game, I really don't care as long as we win the game. But when you have guys like Jack Besh, Kayshon Boutte, Malik Neighbors, who, when they have the ball in their hands, win you games, decide you games, separate from the best opponents, you have to get them the football. You have an obligation to get them the football. And when you don't, the consequences are not only losses, they can also be transfers too. I can tell you one thing. If Jaden Daniels returns for next season, you will see at least half of this receiving core transfer. And I'm talking guys that you just can't anticipate ever transferring from LSU. It was a dark day today. It was a dark, dark, dark day. But because of this, Brian Kelly's LSU are going to be in such better state over the next few years because of this day. Auburn was a program win, a great way to get the team going, and not just for the present, but for the future. A very good game for all the recruits to also see what LSU were doing while they comprehensively saw what Auburn was failing to do. And Mississippi State, a big night with recruiting. All the recruits were there, seeing LSU come from behind, down 13 to win by 15. Huge, 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 huge night. But let me tell you, LSU have to figure it out going into Florida. They have to get better, or blowout losses this year might be more on tap. I don't think you'll see LSU lose another one like this. I don't think you'll see LSU lose in such a way again. I don't think by Alabama. But at the same time, you're seeing everything start to come to the fore. Everything negative start to come to the fore, whether it's coaching styles that don't mesh with the players. You're seeing players that are being ignored or underutilized. You're seeing players that are underperforming, don't even look like they're there, just totally anonymous. You're seeing quarterback play that is absolutely abjectly horrible. Even when he puts up 300 yards today, it was still too safe, still too careful. Finally throws his first interception, but it was, we pointed it out. Anyone watching right now who didn't watch the previous 2 hours, go back and watch some of the some of the plays that we went back and re-showed. Big windows where Jaden has to hit these receivers. Points that we left out there on the field today. You could argue LSU spotted Tennessee 20 of their 40 points. Against any team, let alone the most dynamic offense in college football right now, you're going to get your ass beat when you allow those type of things. LSU allowed their first 200 rushing yard game since Southern, which, they had 201 yards rushing, and most of those yards came in garbage time. Kayshon Boutte continues to be underutilized, like a season high of 46 receiving yards a season high of 83 total yards in a single game, but does catch his first touchdown of the year when it didn't matter at all. And it's not all on Kayshawn, but this was a bad moment for Kayshawn again. A lot of questions about his mentality, a lot of questions about whether he's in the game. But there's also a lot of stuff that he's dealing with. First-time father. The pressure continues to mount. The offense, lack of familiarity between Jaden Daniels and Kayshawn. Huge miscommunications between Jaden Daniels and Kayshawn. But then you're not even seeing any of the other receivers really get the ball. Malik Neighbors had another 80-yard day, but a lot of that was when they were playing off him. Just not enough. Jack Besh, one target. One target. I mean, that's a crazy thing. There's Malik Neighbors, 31 targets. Booty, 21. Mason Taylor, 23. And this is before the game today. Let me add that in. You've got Booty with 8 targets? Yeah, 8 targets. So you got Booty at 29 on the season. Mason Taylor at 23, and today he had only 3 targets, so that's 26. But Jack, 2 targets. Brian Thomas, 5 for 5 from his targets. That's the thing. I feel like Brian Thomas Jr. catches everything that comes his way. Everything. He's averaging 16.9 yards per catch. LSU have to find a way. The season is not going to wait for LSU to figure this shit out. It's just not. Because Florida are right ahead. We have to go to the swamp. Face Florida. Billy Napier, who just would love to kick LSU's ass, to remind Scott Woodward, you should have hired me. But you know what? LSU and Brian Kelly are going to recover from this. They'll be fine going into the Florida game. And I'm not going to say you're going to see a 180 LSU offense. But you saw LSU's offense play a lot better, minus the points, obviously, than they had in the previous 4 or 5 games. So what did we learn from today? LSU have a long way to the top if they want to rock and roll. But that's what they want to do. They want to rock and roll. Brian Kelly's not a jazz man, he wants to rock and roll. That's how you win championships at LSU. With swagger, intensity, last second craziness maybe. And we didn't see that today. From the first play of the game, there was no swagger with this team because we started off with a mistake. Started off on the worst tone we possibly could. Started to get a little bit momentum back and just couldn't get it going. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me. There's a lot of posters in this comment section. A lot of you joining us. Thank you so much for sticking around with us for over 2.5 hours of this conversation. 2 hours and 25 minutes. I think this is my longest stream I have ever done. Usually I tap out after like an hour and a half because my larynx feels like it's shredded, but I paced myself a lot better today. I didn't go flying out. I kept kind of like, it felt like the best stream we've ever done, and at the same time, the worst game we've seen from LSU since 2020 against Alabama. That today it was just abjectly horrible in that first half. This is the worst half of the Kelly era by far. The worst game of the Kelly era by far. Let's keep it that way. Join us for total continued coverage on LSUODYSSEY.com. We're going to do a lot of postmortems on this one. A lot of the points, though, that we shared throughout this video are going to probably serve as the root for a lot of our discussion, unless the tape shows us something else, which I'm sure it will. I'm sure the grades from Pro Football Focus will also show us a different side of this game too. But everybody enjoy your Saturday. Try and forget this game even happened. Get drunk, get stoned, go out and have fun. Forget that this madness happened and just wear LSU stuff. Don't take it off. Don't quit on this team. Don't quit on this coach. And I want to salute to my man, Jack Besh. You know he's going to be feeling bad horrible about what he did, the fumble, first play of the game. But LSU didn't lose 40-13 because of Jack Besh. They lost 7-0 because of Jack Besh. They may have actually lost 40-13 because he only had 2 targets. This is a player who can actually decide games for LSU, and we're only giving him 2 targets. It's just, what do you expect is going to happen? And I know Kayshawn had 8 targets. How many of them were quality? How many of them were quality for a big play? Like 2, if that? So, a lot to fix for LSU, a lot to get right. But there's also a lot of factors and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of things that get in the way of LSU improving as well. Things that we can't foresee coming, like Will Campbell having a medical issue. Sorry, everybody. We must have hit something weird or something, but rough game, rough outcome for LSU, and I think they'll figure it out here. I think you're going to see the type of coach and type of staff that LSU's Brian Kelly are made of. I think you saw a really good, strong game plan from Robert Steeples. Only 239 passing yards, giving up to Hendon Hooker, and yes, some big plays, of course, but really kept them from being able to do it through the air. And on the ground, another story, as we pointed out. But we're going to see the type of coach Brian Kelly is, and we're going to see what he's made of. And I think it's going to make for a very enthralling game in the swamp against Florida. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a wonderful Saturday. Try and forget that this happened. But me, I'm going to watch this whole game.